Okay, it says I'm live. Well, signed in a minute early. I'll see how long it takes everybody to jump in here. See if we can get a few on and get started. I hope it gets me going good this morning. It's 9 o'clock now. I hope the signal's good. We'll see. We'll see if we can get anybody started. Oh, man. Let me get situated here in my chair. See all my wrinkles, and I got my. Hey, Kim Sung. Hello. How are you this morning? I guess you're happy with the Democratic selection. Of course, it was predetermined already. I'm doing fine. I'm just jumping in here. Going to see what stirs up this morning. I guess. Hey, James, how are you? I'm here at the house today. I hope the signal's good. Is the signal good? Give me a thumbs up or tell me if it is, James or Kim. I hope I can. Hey, Zach, how are you? How are things down under? Hey, Jamie. Signal's good. Good. That's good. I'm here at the house. I decided to work from the house this morning and just try to do that. If everybody sees this little brown spot on I had a mole cut off Thursday or Friday. Can't remember which, but I got to keep a little patch on it as it heals. So I don't scar my face. You would hate to scar this good looking face now, wouldn't you? Oh, man. Yeah, Kennedy stepped down and he endorsed Trump, which to me was surprising in a way because of him being such a come from a family that was such a staunch Democrat. But the Democrat Party has really turned its back on him, and I don't blame him in the least. And he actually aligns better with Trump than any of the Democrats out there. Anyway, the Democrats are so crazy, it's pathetic. Yeah, yeah, I'm a celebrity, that's for sure. I don't think so. Far from being a celebrity. Well, I would imagine that's their run on things, Kim. I mean, the pundits out there are going to boo-hoo this any way they can, and they hate to see any kind of Democrats, even like Tulsi Gabbard, uh, when she switched over to endorsing Trump. They hate that too. Anything that realigns a Democrat, it just really upsets the Democratic Party, and they're going to spin it to their favor any way they can. Well, I mean that's your opinion, Kim. He's a lot of things that he's been talking about with the vaccinations and everything else have held up, and he is a good environmentalist. I mean, he has done a lot as a lawyer to help environmental things. I mean, people think he's a nut because he switched from Democrat to independent and got away from things. But I mean, that's everybody's got an opinion. I mean, the entire Democratic Party right now is a bunch of nutcases. I mean, anybody that wants to change your genders of the young children, anybody that wants to put tampons in a boy's bathroom, uh, who wants to ruin the economy by trying to make everybody go green when they don't need to. I mean, going green's one thing. I mean, I'm all for going green if it's done in a systematic way where it doesn't impact the economy. I mean, these people are saying no. Let's stop it all. Let's just stop it all, regardless of what it does to the economy. And that's some of the crazy things that they're doing, letting the borders be wide open. I mean, my God, I mean, you've gotten all these millions of people that have crossed the border in the past 4 years, and they have vetted no one. So we have no idea who these people are, where they come from, where they're at this point, and you'll never get them back. I mean, that's like letting rats out somewhere. I mean, you let rats just run rampant and they're going to go out and multiply and be everywhere. And that's what we've done. You can't do that with your borders. And that's what we've done with our borders. I, well, I mean, they selected him because he wasn't Jewish for one reason. They didn't want somebody Jewish because they didn't want to hurt the Palestine vote. I mean, they are tippy toeing around everything, and but I think it's going to backfire in some ways because I mean, look at Walsh. He's the guy that let Minneapolis burn. I mean, he's the guy that that's done all kind of crazy things. They think because he was military that that's going to bring the military people over, but I think it's going to alienate the military in some ways. Yeah. Well, I know it. Palestine, these crazy people out there are are worried about Palestine. We need to make sure that Israel's not killed. In my opinion, I mean, Israel's the only safe haven for anybody over there in the Middle East. But you know, and their defenses are amazing. That shield they've got is an amazing anti ballistic thing. I mean, we don't have that good a control in the United States. Yeah, it's well, that's true, Kim. I mean, these protesters. I mean, I'm all for people saying what they want to say. That's why I have an open forum right here. People can say what they want to say, but it's not going to change my opinion. I mean, I'm opinionated, and I'm giving my opinions. Now, whether I change your opinion or not, that's entirely different. I don't know. Well, that's true. I mean, it Israel's not taking prisoners. They're not raping and pillaging the villages and everything like the Palestinians are. And it's crazy. It's a crazy situation over there. That's for sure. I mean, I the Middle East has been in turmoil for 2,000 years. So I mean, you're not going to really change a lot over there. I mean, they've been fighting each other. They've been fighting amongst themselves for more than 2,000 years, probably. Yeah, the world is out of control, Jamie. I mean, it's something. I'm gonna have to take a drink, guys. I get a little raspy voice. Get my normal Sprite there, my diet Sprite. Well, I mean, as far as Ukraine taking Russian land, I mean, right now the I don't see a lot of gain either way on Ukraine or Russia. And I don't I'm kind of I'm like Trump. I just want it to stop. Hey, go back to what you were doing. Stop. Say, hey, go back. Russia, go back to where they're at. Ukraine, go back and try to rebuild. I mean, the rebuilding of Ukraine is going to be humongous amount of money, and unfortunately, United States will probably be giving Ukraine. I mean, especially if the Democrats are in, they'll just write more checks and spend more money that we don't have uh, to pay for Ukraine. Yeah, I know. I mean, the Middle East has been fighting itself uh, for centuries. I mean, centuries. I mean, it's in biblical time. I mean, it's you can. I mean, you just kind of change the name. You have to realize how the names have changed a little bit. But the Palestinians and Egyptians and Israelis and everything, they've been over there fighting. Uh, Gosh, probably since the start of time. I don't know. I mean, look in the Bible. You can look in the Bible and you can see these same conflicts have been going on in Jesus's time and before Jesus. So in the Old Testament, I mean, it's crazy, but that is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. The same ones that have been running it. The I guess you used to say the military industrial complex, and they're one that is kind of running things. They're pulling string. The military industrial complex uh, pulls purse strings big time for all the politicians, and they hurt us a good bit. How long was I at RPS? Well, I was at RPS as long as RPS was in business. I started RPS started in business in '85. I started with them since '87. So I started in '87, and then I stayed with them until well, what it became. I mean, it was uh, RPS, and then it was bought out by FedEx, and then FedEx changed the name uh, to FedEx Ground, and then I stayed with them until 2020 when I retired, when I sold everything. So that's how long I was with them, Albert. Are you Are you with FedEx, Albert, or thinking about something with RPS? I mean, not RPS. RPS is no longer, of course. I've got some old RPS hats and shirts still hanging around. I think they were orange and beige, ugly looking. You were given a route in New York with RPS way back. I mean, yeah, they that's what happened with me. I was given a route, and then once I was able to go to line haul, we were able to expand. That was the first time I was able to expand in any way. Was when I went to line haul. I went to line haul in '88. I just was 1 year as a package guy, and then in '88 I moved over and went to line haul and uh, started adding trucks. I was able to add some trucks and some drivers, and that's when I got to expanding to begin with. I got up to three, which was the max at the time, and then they switched it from three up to five, and I went to five. So that's what I did. Yeah, smash the thumbs up and the like button and all that stuff. Yeah, I bet so. Yeah, my core zone pay was $40, I think. It wasn't much. Um, and then it should my route was a huge route too. It was 300 about 325 miles a day. It was all I could do to sling them off. I mean, I tried my best to get packages off, but it just to no avail. I couldn't get it done. Oh, $90, that's pretty good. That's pretty good core zone pay. Well, I mean, they did that before I left. But yeah, that's aggravating. I mean, the cameras are everywhere. They got them pointing out and in. The ones pointing into the drivers is what they're doing that for insurance purposes and to save their own butt. Oh, you were able to sell it? I said we weren't able to sell until FedEx took over. I mean, I guess you could have let somebody take it over, but we weren't actually able to sell anything until FedEx made it so you could buy and sell. I mean, it was just give it up. What it was when I was with him with RPS, which is probably a good thing for me because at times I may have sold out and gone on, but I'm glad I stuck it out and made something out of it and then expanded. And then when my wife retired as a school teacher, we got her as a contractor, and we were able to expand a good bit. Moved on into Savannah, Georgia, Greensboro, and Savannah, Georgia. We did pretty good. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, we weren't able to do that back then. They didn't have an avenue we could do that. Yeah, I mean the cameras. I mean, unfortunately, Big Brother is going to be out there for everybody. I mean, there's cameras on every street corner, every house. I mean, look at all the uh, ring cameras that are out there right now. I mean, there's a camera in everybody's driveway, just about. I mean, with those ring cameras, I mean, they project pretty good. I mean, they're darn. I mean, all these cameras, computer cameras, ring cameras, surveillance of all kind of I mean, GoPro cameras, everything is just camera oriented. I mean, think about it. Your iPhone and your Android computer phones, they're fantastic cameras. I mean, 4K cameras on an object that small and everything. You can carry it with you. I mean, we're a nation of cameras, and with the internet the way it is, everybody can upload videos. I mean, how many videos have you seen that you thought over the years this would have never been on TV before? And the fact that people are putting it out there without any reservations, a lot of it shouldn't be put out there. Probably should be pulled back and say, maybe we shouldn't do that. But there's no editors. There's no editors, and some people have gotten themselves in trouble by posting things too. So I mean, you don't want to go willy nilly, just post anything if you feel like that you're going to be subjected to a lawsuit. And there have been people sued, individuals sued because of what they posted online. So I mean, you can't disparage somebody uh, just because you don't like them or you want to get back at them. So you have to do it in a logical manner. I mean, that's like me broadcasting here. Uh, I can't just go bash somebody uh, that I don't like. I mean, you can do political figures. I mean, if you're out there in the, I mean, I can say just about anything about Trump or say anything about Hillary or anything about Biden or anything about Kamala, just like I did there. I can make a weird expression about Kamala or Tampon Tim, as he's been called out there, because they're public figures. Yeah. Now, I don't remember my package van number, but I do remember my first truck number, which was 1527. And the reason, and I use that in my email. My email has got 1527 in it because of the fact that was my first uh, tractor trailer truck. And I still use that number to this day. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they could prosecute him for that, that's he needs to be shamed for it. That's for sure, Walter. I mean, you can't really prosecute somebody for embellishing stuff, but you can definitely uh, you can definitely shame them for doing that, and I think that's what needs to be done. I mean, yeah, I mean, I give him his service for. I think he had 24 years in National Guard, but he ducked out real quick and then bragged about being in combat, and he never was in combat. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, well, I don't know the legalities of that. I know I know you could shame somebody for it. I don't know how you can prosecute, but I mean, if there is a military, I guess the military would have to come after him. I don't know if any kind of civilian court would do it, and I don't know what the situation would be. But yeah, he needs to be shamed to death on it. That's for sure, because you don't brag about doing something like that when you got people coming back with legs blown off and arms blown off and different things like that, and then you brag about being being a combat veteran, which you're not. I mean, if you're not a combat veteran, you don't do it. I mean, I know that there's times that I've been in situations. Uh, I mean, I've been in an auditorium. They'll talk about military service, and I mean, I'd love to say, well, my brother did and my dad did, but I don't participate with anything because I didn't. I mean, I wouldn't steal the valor that my dad did being in the Battle of the Bulge, or my brother did uh, by being overseas like he was. I mean, my youngest brother, he served in the military. He was in the Air Force, but I was not. Fortunately for me, I didn't go to Vietnam. I had a high lottery number, which kept me out. Which thank goodness I'm happy of. I mean, and sometimes I mean I almost at one time I almost wanted to. I almost joined up. I will say this: I went down and talked to a recruiter, and I almost joined one time when I was a freshman in college. I was feeling kind of down and out and not happy with my way college was going. And I said, well, I could go to the military and come back and help, get go off the GI Bill, which I had a lot of classmates that were there from the GI Bill. But I'm glad I didn't. I wouldn't have wanted to serve just because of that. I mean, you need to serve for a reason, not just to be kind of on the rebound sort of thing. And I was sort of on the rebound. I wasn't doing as good as I wanted to in college, and of course I was just wasn't trying as hard. I guess I just didn't have the incentive, and I needed an incentive. But things changed, things turn around, and I'm glad they did what they did. The GI Bill is that's the GI Bill is if you serve. Now Zach, I'm telling this to Zach because he's from Australia. Uh, if you go into military service and you serve, you can get paid to go to college when you get out. I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, it's been going on since the 1950s. I mean, a lot of World War II veterans, when they got out, they went to college on the GI Bill, and they were able to further their education because of that. I mean, that was a great thing, and that's when colleges were more affordable and everything else too. I mean, when I went to college, college was not that expensive. Right now, colleges have gotten into the endowment thing, and they have just gone crazy, crazy high. I mean, my grandson's college, and it's a state university, and if you got a state university, Zach, you get a lower rate because it's in your state, and it's subsidized by like your state. And if you're out of state, it costs more. But my grandson is going to NC State University, which is a great university, a good engineering school and everything. But his tuition and board and everything down there is costing right at $30,000 per year. Now, my wife went to the same university, uh, and his dad went to the same university. And when my wife went, it was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of around $4,000 a year. And then when my son went, I think it was around 10,000, 8 to 10,000. But now it's almost 30,000 per year, and and that's a state-run school too. If you go to something like Harvard and Yale or Princeton and some of these independent ones like that, you're talking anywhere from 50 to 100,000. I think Duke and Yale and some of those are about $80,000 per year, and then they're loaning these kids money. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that's got everything upset, got everything turned upside down because these kids will get sign up for that. The government will let them get a government loan, and then they can't pay the loan back. And now the government's trying to relieve them of these loans. I mean, they're and the one that benefited out of it are these big universities. Oh, did you, James? That's good. Oh, a dependent can get it. I didn't know that. I would have tried that. I didn't. I didn't. My dad was in World War II, and I didn't. I didn't sign up for anything with the GI Bill. I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't get drafted. Were you in the Vietnam era, Albert? I wasn't. I mean, like I said, they were still drafting when I was in high school and right after I got out. But I had a great lottery number. That's first time I've ever won anything big on the lottery. I think my it was in the 300s, like 318, 325. I'd have to go back and look, but it was in the 300 high 300s. Uh, and 365 is the top, but I think it was mine was like 320, 318, 320 somewhere in there, and I didn't have to go. Didn't get they never called up that high on the draft, so I was lucky in that respect. Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know that. I know I never tried the GI Bill, and and it, my I would have qualified with my dad. I mean, he was in World War II and all that sort of stuff. I knew some guys did it, but I thought I knew of a boy that did get it off of his dad, but that I thought that was because his dad had passed on. I mean, I don't know. You don't always check into that. Of course, I didn't I didn't stay in college that many years. I was just there in community college, and I went to probably all I deserved as college because I was not dedicated. I was more about partying, having a good time, uh, seeing the world, what I could see, and that sort of stuff. And the schoolwork was really secondary, and I did it sort of like I did high school, and which you can't do. I mean, I just breezed through high school. I didn't have to study a lot, and breezed right through high school, and I tried to do college the same way, and that didn't work. Although I have gone back to community college and taken some courses. I've taken a forging course where we forged metal, not forging checks, forged metal. I want to clarify that. I took a forge and foundry course whereas we learned how to do metal work, and then I took a couple of welding courses. I've enjoyed that. I learned how to weld better. Uh, but you know, those type of vocational courses are really really good, and I think I've even told my grandson, and he's an engineer. I'd love to see him go back to community college and take some courses like that because I think it would bode well for him to do that. And those things are really good. And I encourage anybody to check with their local community college and see what they can get. I mean, I've even thought about going back. I mean, and here I am. I'm 73. And do I need to go back and get an education? No, but I've enjoyed stuff like that. And anytime that I can educate myself in a skill, I enjoy that as much as I would, if I was getting something as a degree. I mean, I definitely don't need a degree of any source because I'm not trying to hang anything on the wall. Uh, just keep myself from being hung on the wall. Uh, but you know, that's a good thing. But explaining to I don't know if I've explained it enough to Zach, if he's still listening. I may have rambled on so much, but the GI Bill has been a great thing for the U.S. because, like I said, it put a lot of people into college that served our country. I mean, if they went over to Iraq or where where any kind of military service, and I have several friends that got their degree because of that. I mean, one of my best friends, Dale Ritchie, he and I used to ride to school together down at Gaston College, and uh, we rode together to save money on fuel because we both uh, needed to save that buck and a half or whatever at the time. And I mean, he had a Volkswagen, and I had a Volkswagen when I first started. So we both had Volkswagens, and we wanted to save that 75 cents to a dollar in fuel that it was costing us, and that sort of stuff. But it was fun, and then I got to know Dale real good, and became great friends, still great friends to this day. And he was ex-military. He had gone into that, and then came back, and then studied engineering, and he ended up going 2 years at Gaston College, and then on to UNC Charlotte, and it was a great engineer, and then went to work for NCR, and then a couple other companies after that. And very smart guy, very smart engineer, and all that. So I'm all for that. But I always told people uh, I didn't make an engineer, but in reality, I made an engineer because my son, I I helped build my son, I guess you might say. Uh, I I was a contributor of his birth, so I made an engineer because my son is an engineer, and hopefully my grandson will be an engineer. I mean, he's in his second year at NC State in mechanical engineering, so hopefully that'll come about. Well, I bet so, James. If you worked at the VA, you helped a lot of people get college educations like that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing about it. I mean, the Army and the Air Force and all those things they teach you a lot of skills. I mean, if you get anything, you get skills, and and you learn discipline, and I think that's the good thing. I mean, every military guy that I hired, ex-military guy that I hired as a driver, and I had some. I had one guy that he was a retired military, and he was Johnny on the spot, perfect on his paperwork. He did everything by the book, and if you tried to get him to do anything that he felt like was a little bit in the gray area, he would not do it. He would buck you on it. I mean, whereas some guys you say, don't worry about that. He goes, no, you worry about that. He was strict. He was strict on himself to do things right. I mean, he had the mindset. You got to do it. If you're going to do it right. Yeah, and that had to make you feel good there, James, to be able to do that and get these people turned around and started on the right path and everything for a college education. Well, let's jump over to politics a little bit. What now that the Democrats are finished with their party, their their Kamala party, now we need to get down to brass tacks. We need to see what she's all about, which she is not about anything. She has no substance. And, you know, I hope that people will realize that. Well, that's great. That's great, James. Uh, you know, I'm all for the government running right, and the VA, hopefully runs right. I mean, it has had its problems, but you know, when the government runs right, you feel good about it. When it runs rampant, you don't. And I don't want to see this rampant spending that Kamala and her crazy crowd are doing. Let's give $25,000 to everybody that wants to buy a house. Now, what does that do? That just rises the cost of houses just went up $25,000. I mean, that's basically what that is. When you make that incentive out there, you just raise the price of every house $25,000 because they're going to try to get it, and all kind of crazy things like that. But you know, hopefully, in the next 75 days, America will wake up and go, I don't need 4 more years of what I've just come through. Do you want 4 more years? I mean, she's trying to erase the 4 years that she served under Biden, or I don't know what she's done under Biden. She was named the border czar, and what happened? The border went wide open. I mean, that kind of stuff. Hey, Renegade. Oh yeah, she's trying to buy votes, just like Biden did with the, getting rid of the student loans. I mean, when you're out there and you want to say, well, let's see if I can get X amount of votes uh, from this segment by introducing a bill that I know can't get passed. Well, I'll blame it on the other side if they don't pass my ridiculous bill, which shouldn't pass. Uh, so she'll throw it out there. She'll think people will vote for her because of that. Right now, I mean, you hate to say it, but she's playing the race card big time. She wants all black and brown people to vote for her because she's black and brown. She's got a mixed race, and she's going to play up to each race that she wants. I mean, she wants to be Indian, Asian. She wants to be black. She's done everything but Hispanic, uh, and she wants to get all those groups to vote for her because of her color, and that's as racist as you get. I mean, she's being racist by playing the race card. And what else can you say? I mean, you know, the rest of us out here, a lot of us, uh, are white people, and we're not. If we played whiteism the way she does blackism or brown, we would be ostracized for every bit of that. I mean, look at the crazy things they've had. They've had white dudes for Kamala. I mean, if we did white dudes for Trump, we would be called the racist people out there. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, yeah, we need Trump in there, Zach. We really do. We need Trump in because he would turn it back around. It was drill baby drill with him. And we had no wars going on when he was there. He was a bigger peacekeeper because he came up with a bigger stick. I mean, he put the threats to work, and it worked around the world. Yeah, I know it. Clinton and Obama, they have set the seed to ruin the world and to ruin the United States for sure. And now we're left with Kamala and Tim, and I don't know what we're going to do if we don't get them out of there. Oh yeah, he's pushing it big time. He's in power. In the background, he's in power. That's the reason. Him and all of his political cronies. You think he's not getting money right and left with this? Obama's wanting to strut out. He wants to strut out on the stage like he did the other night. Come lollygagging out there. Hey, it's me, the savior. Everybody bow down. Obama has come. That's the way he appears to me. When him and Michelle get out there, it's like, oh, bow down to us. The royalty is here. The royalty is here because Obama and his fair lady Michelle, we have we have we have opened up, and you're able to be in our presence. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. I mean, he wants to be anointed as some hierarchy that he's not. I mean, and these idiots out there keep giving him money, and he keeps spending it. Oh yeah, let's see. He's worse than these $3 huckster preachers that are going out. Please send me some money. Our church needs money. Those kind of people that like Osteen and all these others that are always out begging for money. You got Obama and all his group that's sort of like, well, you've anointed us as the leaders of the Democratic Party. Please give us your money, and we will spend it wisely on another mansion in Hawaii or another mansion at Martha Vineyard, and be sure and keep our fuel in our Learjet and those sort of things. That's what you got to do. Yeah, so we can preach to you about climate change. We got to fly everywhere so we can privately preach to you that you need to cut back, get rid of your gas stove, get rid of all your luxuries that you've got, so we can bask and live luxury. So please send us all your money. That's what Obama's doing. Right? I'll write some more books. Be sure and read them. Be sure and buy my books. Be sure and ask me over to give a speech for $100,000. I could use a few extra $100,000. Don't you need your corporation need a good speaker like me? That's what you get out there in the corporate world now. Crazy people giving crazy money to other crazy people. And it's, what do we do? Oh, I mean, well, I hope I've set the picture of what I'm thinking about. Yeah, I'm glad that Kennedy endorsed Trump. I think it's shaken up a lot of people. Now, I don't think all the people that were going to back him will flip over to Trump. I think it is going to wake up some people, maybe some independents, to realize what it is. But there again, you're going to have the pundits that are going to run down Kennedy as a crazy person, just like some of the others have said. And, Kennedy is, the man has got a lot of good things to talk about. And what the Democrats tried their best to keep him down as low as he could. I mean, they squelched him worse than they did Trump because of the fact they wouldn't even give him Secret Service. There, his uncle and his dad were assassinated, but no, he's not a target. Just let him get out there and get shot. You know, that's crazy. And then they did a sham job. The Secret Service did of protecting Trump. I mean, I guarantee. I mean, there was good agents out there working, but there were some bad players in on that. I mean, there were people that so lax, it's sort of like, it's Trump. Don't worry about it. We got it covered. They did it so lax. I mean, you can hear the reports from the local authority when they were given communication, though, when they were given radios to communicate back and forth, and the Secret Service didn't even pick up and try to communicate back and forth with the local authorities. Had they done that, maybe they would have squelched that real quick. But that goes to show you how the Democrats and all of them have done with this type stuff. But it is what it is. Well, that's great. That's great, Albert. I'm glad you have got some. But that's the way it is. Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, they were definitely lax. I mean, I think they intentionally, that some of the higher up intentionally go, it's just Trump. I mean, I would guarantee that that was their attitude. It's just Trump. We don't need to give him all the security that we give the president and the vice president. We'll give him some. We'll put on a good show, and you see what a good show. Only a minute, you know, a minuscule amount of uh, protection did. I mean, there are good agents out there, no doubt, but there's some bad apples out there, and we need to weed out those bad apples. Huh. I didn't know about that personal cook. I guess Obama's going to everybody going to start committing suicide around Obama who disagrees with him. I don't know. That sure happens with the Clintons. You don't want to be friends with the Clintons too close, do you? Because they kill off their friends that they don't like. You get too close to the Clintons and find out some dirt and a few things, and you get snuffed out. Well, that can happen. That can happen. I mean, people say, "Oh no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen." Well, it happens too often to not be a coincidence. I mean, there's too many things out there right now that are not that that they haven't given answers to. I mean, there's too many Jeffrey Epstein's and other people like that that have gone uh, that have been killed off, and I think everybody would agree that that one is the most suspicious. And where's the book? Where's all this tell all book? I mean, there's records that haven't been put out there. People don't want to know. I mean, people. Let me rephrase it. People in those levels don't want you to know. I mean, there's millions of people that want to know, but we'll never find out. They've got that. They've got that in deep six, like they do the things on Kennedy too. Well, you know, what are you going to say when they're just we'll never put the right ones in prison. I mean, they want to put Trump in prison for saying that he inflated his value of his property. I mean, they bring up 91 felonies against him because of inflated property, because he was able to secure loans. I mean, yeah, that's a crime. And he paid the loans, but had he not paid these loans back, had he defaulted on this, had he robbed something from somebody, it'd be different. But he didn't. He was just able to, banks were lining up to give Trump money because they knew they would get their money back. It was a good investment for them. I mean, he wasn't getting interest free loans. I mean, it wasn't like they were paying him to take the money. He was borrowing money and making money and paying money back. But no, the government they didn't like it because, oh no, you said that your house in Florida was worth way more than we feel like it's worth. So we're going to change the rules. And that's what we got. That's what we got. Well, guys, I'm gonna head on out. I've enjoyed it this morning. Been very productive talk this morning, and I'm gonna head on out. I got some things to do, and I about talked an hour, and my voice is getting a little scratchy. So I'm gonna head on out. I'll catch y'all later. See you next Sunday. Hopefully things will be better. See you guys.